TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond. TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond.
Good afternoon. I'm Lieutenant Elmer Horn with Douglas County Sheriff's Office, and we're here at one of our communities, and Sheriff Pounds is here with us. And Sheriff Pounds is very involved in his communities, and he come out. We brought out our grill and our smoker so we can come out and help cook for this community. And Sheriff Pounds himself has come out and helped cook with us, and he's here to cook and help these folks today.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is one of the programs that I call taking my community back. If you don't get out there and get involved in your community, you ain't gonna be able to get it back. And the sad part about it, we losing our young men at such a pace that it's unreal. We got to come up with something that will help us with these children. Got to. So this is what I'm doing. I love it. I'm out here in the sun. It's hot, but like I said earlier, we're gonna do these until we get that gap between law enforcement and the community bridge. We're gonna bridge that gap because we're gonna get out here, we're gonna shake hands, we're gonna find out if they got any kind of problem we can assist them with, and invite them to the sheriff's office and come to the roll call. Just come see what's going on at the office. Thank y'all so much for being here.
Thank you, Sheriff Pounds. And like I said, this is just one of many events that we bring this grill out to help with our communities and get involved. I'm here today at one of our community outreach days with our sound truck. And our sound truck is used for just what you see. We come out to community days, we play loud music, and be able to just have a good time with it and enjoy our community. Our sheriff's office, you get to see us in a little different light. We're not always out there writing tickets or locking people up. We come out to your community day and be a part of your day and help you celebrate your community. And this is just one of the ways that we can do that, was with our sound truck. We're here today in one of our communities. We brought our ice cream truck out. A lot of people like to laugh when I say the sheriff's office owns an ice cream truck, but this is exactly what it's for, is we bring it out to our communities. We give away ice cream. We don't charge for the ice cream. The ice cream is free. And we have partners in our businesses in our community that help pay for the ice cream so that we can give it away for free. And we give it away. We go to schools. This is just one of many events that we bring our ice cream truck to. We go to the school systems. We come out to community days, block parties. We just come out and see you and help you enjoy and celebrate your community. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Dynasty. Welcome to TV 1061. Join our network and broadcast your event live across the continent. Come to our studio and film and stream your talk show, sitcom, showcase, and broadcast it worldwide. Combine multimedia with your live stream. Independent filmmakers, show your movie and afterwards interview your cast live. Sponsors, advertisers, I'm talking to you. This is your chance for global exposure. These are very exciting times we live in. Traditional TV is all but a thing of the past. TV 1061 is now on the Roku platform with a viewership of 46 million and counting. Roku is an industry leader in internet TV. It is the most popular and fastest growing internet TV platform. If you are interested in developing and streaming your own show or movie, or coming in as a sponsor or an advertiser, please send your contact information with a short description of your interest to 1061tv@gmail.com. Thank you. Hi.
Happy Sunday. Today is February 21st, 2021. Welcome to the Talk Show Divas. My name is Roselle Pompey. I am the goddess of travel and co-founder of Empress Mindset. You ladies look beautiful today.
Thank you.
And by the way, this is Black History Month.
Yes.
So, but before we get started, please introduce yourselves.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tamara Lee. I'm the creator of Eve's Garden and Forever the Revolutionary Mindset. Follow me on Clubhouse, Twitter, and on Facebook.
Happy Sunday, everyone. My name is Miss Lamora. I'm an actress and entrepreneur.
Hi, my name is Renee Jackson, and happy Black History Month. In honor of that, I am representing our Native American history.
Yes.
I'm an entrepreneur. The name of my business is Sparkle. It's a wardrobe styling, and I am an extreme organizer. Thank you.
Well, thank you, ladies. Like I said, you all look beautiful. Thank you. So before we dive into our topics today, I want to say today's show is sponsored by the following. Vizard, a taste so delectably finessed. Vizard, Spirit on IG. Phone number 678-896-5105. Once again, that's Vizard, a taste so delectably finessed. Next is DAS Skincare at www.dasskincare.com. And today is Feed the Hood, DJ's third annual. So thank you all, and let's dive in to our topic. We are going to talk about today unsung African American Black superheroes that never get recognized in our history books and also, on television. So, ladies, I want to first start off with you, Tamar. And can you please tell us who did you pick to highlight today?
I basically, for Black History Month, I want us to highlight collective economic power.
Okay.
I'm a student of Dr. Claude Anderson, and he talks about this collective economic partnership that we need to have with one another in his book called Powernomics, which, if any of you don't have this book, it's called Powernomics. It's by Dr. Claude Anderson, and he's basically talking about the true way for us to get economic justice, and justice is through our dollar.
Yes.
And a person that I wanted to highlight today, his name is Jesse Binga. He is from Chicago, which is where I was born and raised. And Mr. Binga was one of the first Black bankers in Bronzeville. If you're from Chicago, you're familiar with Bronzeville. That's a historic area for us. And he was one of the first Black owners of an all-Black bank. And what I love about this brother, he basically had a very successful bank. It flourished in our community. His bank was bombed 10 times. His home was bombed 6 times.
Wow.
He was threatened with all types of the things that they did back then, but that didn't turn him away and that didn't stop him. The only thing that eventually shut the bank down was when we had the Depression, and there was a run on the banks, and all the banks shut down.
All the banks were.
Yeah, all the banks shut down. But this brother's story is so amazing, and it pretty much speaks to what we can do when we do it as a collective. So my focus, and I want everybody to focus this month and just kind of wrap your mind around us collectively using our economic power, because that's the only way that I think we can really rise.
Yeah, and the fact of the matter that he had the gumption to start a bank.
The audacity, right?
Yes.
The audacity back in those days. Audacity. Because, yeah.
And, to me, that just speaks to the spirit of our ancestors, because this was the turn of the century.
Yes, it was.
Coming out of Reconstruction, and to have this spirit of not giving up. It's just powerful. It's so powerful.
And I'm going to tell you what they did, because a lot of times history notes him as a convicted felon, okay? They could not intimidate him. So what eventually happened, I'm going to tell you the charges that they got on it, because they sent him to prison. He did a couple of years, which is, it just goes to, he was not afraid of them. Every time they bombed his buildings, he just rebuilt them. So they eventually got him on charges. Let me see here. Let's see. They basically said that they got him on embezzlement charges.
Of course.
So what he basically did, in order to protect his assets, he moved things around just like you do on a chessboard, which is the same thing white business owners had been doing for decades. But he did some things with his assets, and they got a 2-year rap on him, and he was sent to prison. Came back out, brother rose up. I mean, his story is just phenomenal. Anybody, if you get a chance, please look up Jesse Binga. And to read his story just speaks to, it's a testament to how we continue to rise even when we're faced with controversy.
Yeah.
So,
That whole area of Brownsville, though, is very successful, has a lot of black history. If you
It does.
from Chicago or from the Midwest or are interested in history about cities that we migrated from the South to.
yeah, exactly.
A lot of people came from the South, from Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Louisiana, migrated to the North, including my family, migrated to northern Illinois, North Chicago in particular. But Brownsville has a rich history of just having a lot of impactful people. Like, we had our own baseball teams that
Yes,
were
we sure did.
featured and played all across, the U.S.
Yeah, they
and
did.
Brownsville had their own team. I remember that. So it's a great historical part of Chicago. So that's a great story that you.
Yeah.
And hey, you guys, I want to mention something. A lot of people want to know, why did we land where we landed?
Right.
So if you were coming from the South, there were 4 bus routes.
Wow.
4 bus routes. They landed in Chicago, LA, Detroit,
That's right.
and there's one
New
other.
York?
New York. So all of us, because my dad was born in Mississippi, so if you Mississippi,
You went
New
Chicago.
New Orleans,
You went to
came
Chicago.
Yes,
That's right.
So everybody kind of wondered where did you come from? It was the routes. So we only had 4 choices, so that's how we kind of went from there to there. But that was really interesting, because a lot of people from LA and from New York, they landed there because of the route that came from the southern city. So that's kind of interesting.
Interesting, yes it is.
So this brought this question up to my mind. Why do you think that they were trying to destroy?
Our Wall Street tonight.
Yeah.
Because we became, collectively, we became more powerful, and we became wealthy. Wealthy,
Very
because
rich.
what happened, we had our Tulsas, we had our Rosewoods, and when you're living, the black dollar was circulating 36 to 39 times before it left the community, and a lot of times it didn't leave because we were operating during segregation.
Right.
So that made us wealthier than our white counterparts.
Yes.
Right.
So you had envy, you had jealousy. Our banks were collateralized. I mean, we were giving home loans, we were giving business loans.
Right.
So they kind of saw
Hatred.
that once we weren't controlled by them and we controlled our economics, we outran them. And that has been what the context is every time.
Right.
When you leave us alone and we
survive.
act as a collective, we will outshine you, outride you, outjump you.
That's right.
And then what happens, they have to come and destroy that. And that's evidence. It was over 30 black communities after Reconstruction that became very powerful.
Right.
That were single-handedly destroyed by mobs and lynchings and hatred.
And we're going to talk about later in the show about reparation and how Reconstruction played into that.
Yes.
So we're going to talk later on about our 40 acres and a mule, or as Renee would say,
They say 40 acres and a Mustang.
So, Mishla, who are you highlighting this?
This week,
Fine day evening.
I'm sticking with beauty entrepreneurs. I recently launched my own beauty business.
Fantastic.
Congratulations.
And you guys will be hearing more about that later on in the upcoming weeks. But I'm focusing on one particular beauty entrepreneur because I know a lot of people that watch our shows are entrepreneurs, and it goes to a testament to show like what, just sticking to your recipes, your homemade recipes make millions.
Yes.
And we all have experienced this pioneer. Her name is Lisa Price. She's the founder of Carol's Daughter.
Yes.
And I have a very personal story about coming to know this beauty brand. It had to be in '99 or early 2000s. I was living in Waukegan, Illinois. So I was living right off of the lake, and I had one child at the time, my daughter. She had very curly hair, and I was a new mom and learning how to comb hair and do stuff, and I was like, look, I gotta find some type of product that keeps the moisture in my daughter's hair. And at that time, Carol's Daughter, we didn't have Facebook, and we didn't have all these different ways that we market now. We had email lists. And Carol's Daughter started in New York, and I believe in Brooklyn, I'm not sure.
Yes.
She started in Brooklyn in her own brownstone with her mother or grandmother's recipes for hair care.
Yes.
And when she first started out, it was very personal. She didn't have a staff. It was family members. And I will order directly from the website, and her beauty products would come. Marguerites, I can't remember some of them, but they would come to your house. It would be in a box, very plain packaging, a white glass jar.
Smelled amazing.
Smelled amazing, and with just hand-printed labels. And I started using it on my daughter's hair, and it was beautiful. It was easy, everybody would say, what's in your daughter? They would smell her, and
it smells so good. I
smelled so amazing.
My son was an infant too.
Yeah, so she's one of the first African American owned product lines with the flagship store. She started making the creams and the lotions in her kitchens in 1990, but I didn't find her till 1999, probably 2000. And by 1999, she added mail order. So that's when she began to sell. And I found her in Essence magazine.
Oh, wow.
That's how I was able to find her.
Wow.
And she has great product lines, still does, but in 2014, she sold the product line to L'Oreal, and go ahead.
You know what I forgot about the story? She really took off because Jay-Z and Mary J. Blige gave her that money.
Yes.
And that's when she moved
were
out of her
her
house.
investors.
They were her investors.
Mary was
initially.
the first.
Mary, yeah.
Mary J. Blige
Mary,
was
and
the
she
first.
brought in
Oh,
Jay-Z,
love of
and
my life.
that's when
Yes.
she blew up.
Yeah, so she had some very strong
that's true.
black celebrity backers to help her financially. And then she was able to move out of her family's brownstone and move her production and scale it up. So through us, she was able to make millions. But our products are phenomenal. You can purchase them now. However, we were just talking
about this.
and I don't care for our products right now.
I don't either.
And the reason why is that sometimes we as black entrepreneurs, we have all this magnificent, all this greatness, and when we scale up and we sell our products to large corporations or large beauty brands like L'Oreal, like she did in 2014, the quality of the product
Goes down.
They may have the chemical recipe, but they ain't got marguerite sauce or whatever she stirred up in there to make the
grandma's recipe.
vanilla scented shampoo is not the same. It's drying to your hair now. So that's just my own personal experience.
How do you guys feel about that? Because with what Mitchell is saying, the authenticity of it changed.
Yes.
Correct.
They cheapen if I put my love in every bottle, what you saying over there, Renee?
Nothing.
if I put my love in that bottle, L'Oreal don't have that love. They don't have that secret sauce that I have. And once they sold it, it was just weak. It was a weak imitation. And I'm sorry, Carol, but I'm good now. I just can't mess with it.
We still celebrate and honor her. Her
Yes,
healthy,
we do.
Her healthy hair butter is even on display at the Smithsonian.
Okay.
At the Smithsonian National Museum in D.C. and the African American History Museum. So her products, she has more than 300 products. So it's a pro and a con when you scale up and you widen your reach to your customer base. Because when she was just in her brownstone and we had her as our, favorite secret in black hair and culture, she could only reach only a few. And now she reaches millions with her products, and she has boasts over 300 hair, skin, and those type of products. So we have our own opinions. You can take your own. If you don't know her products from the 90s,
From the beginning.
you don't have what to
difference.
compare. You don't
anything
have
to
a reference to compare to.
Yeah.
But we do. So
Okay. Oh, that's great. So thank you so much. When we get back, we're going for a quick break, but I'm going to start off the conversation with Renee. Thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you.
Today's world exposes our youth to life experiences that are well beyond that which their years should allow. Violence, trauma, poverty, injustice. Our children's lives and their livelihoods are in constant danger. Wisdom, Inc. is a community-based organization designed to save young lives by reducing violence and assisting youth in their personal development. Wisdom stands for wise individuals structuring and developing youthful minds. Through our collective wisdom, we can change lives for the better. Wisdom, Inc. Reducing violence, developing youth, saving lives.
Yo, what's up, y'all? I'm Dynasty Smith, and I'm your host for The Flavor, where we're going to be showcasing some of the hottest independent artist videos from all around. So y'all tune in every Wednesday at 8 o'clock just by typing into your YouTube bar, TV 1061. So if you go into your YouTube search bar, type in TV 1061 to join us every Wednesday at 8 o'clock to check out some of the hottest new independent artist videos from all over. If you want to check us out on Facebook, just type in The Flavor and you can find us on Facebook. And yo, for you artists out there, lights, camera, action. Now the camera's on you. If you want to get your video aired on The Flavor, then you need to hit us up at 1061tv@gmail.com. Send us your YouTube link, and then we'll get back to you on details on how you can be on The Flavor.
It's about money.
Hi, welcome back to the Talk Show Divas. So when we left before the break, Mishla was giving us a rundown on Carol's daughter, and we had some conversations going back and forth about that.
we always have conversations.
Yes, we do.
Off screen,
And we had debates, but it's all good. But Renee, can you please just give us your thoughts and your person that you're going to highlight today?
Prior to me highlighting my person, I just want to say that everything within our culture, because it's all about propaganda game here in the United States of Black America, it's all about how we are diluted. We were diluted when we came here, so if we sell out because of the economic gain. And even though the product still may stay the same in a source, when somebody starts cutting your product down, the value lessens. So a person that used, let's just say hypothetically, work with me, cocaine in the 70s.
Okay.
By the time they got to the cocaine in the 80s and the 90s, it was not the same type of cocaine. It was crack because it was what? It was chopped down, it was diluted for the masses. And that's what we do in America. That's just my take on it. That's what we dilute in America.
Not the same. The hat not quite the same.
Well, but you know what? To get out to the masses, you have to keep the price point down.
Yes.
You have
And
to
you
dilute
take
the
it
product.
down by diluting the actual richness of the product. That's what they did to us as a people. When they brought us here, we're here celebrating Black History Month.
Yes.
and they only taught us about maybe a handful. And as we've been researching, we find out there's a ocean of us that was before the ones that they taught us about, the Frederick Douglass, the Harriet Tubman, the Jesse Owens, the Marian Anderson. I found out there was a young lady, she was 11 years old. She was a millionaire at 11 years old.
Oh, yes.
Different conversation, you know about that.
Yes.
But they didn't teach us about that. It's because they want to limit our greatness. And they still continuously limit our greatness based upon economic
And what is the reason
success.
for that, though?
Because of economic success.
They limit the greatness because it limits possibility.
Well, it's not in their scope of things,
But
because they came in to control and dominate. So if they told you how great you were, then you would rise to the top like
That's
queen.
what I'm saying. Right.
So exactly.
Limits the possibility.
So they keep you down. You know what I'm saying? By not allowing you to think that you're going to still make it, because they feel like they are the ladder to our greatness. So in that regard, we still sell out. Now, not to negate what the ladies were saying, that did happen with Curl's daughter, but her product is still amazing. She was a pioneer of that product. And now they got mixed chicks, so that's with you are mulatto, you're one of your
With the
parents
curly
is
wave
African
with your hair,
American, one is of Caucasian American, then now you can use this product. But it's all about continuously diluting who we are as a people.
Yes.
And that's the sad part. And that's why I'm sitting here dressed as a Native American.
Come on.
Because when I went to research about Native Americans, the black specifically Native American, and I was like, what does the word how mean? Because you always see him, how?
Come on now,
Come on, and don't hold it. Don't hold it. It's one of our words.
They made that up. I'm going to tell you, they made it up. It's a word, and I try to lead it. Let me tell you something. This has been phenomenal for me, ladies, also, because in this process, I've been researching and reading a whole lot more. You know what I'm saying, about our history, and it's called angelicalization. And angelicalization means that I'm going to change the narrative for it to fit the masses. Angelicize is the word. They didn't say how, because you had so many different tribes.
Tribes of Native
And some of them said Chimikiwa, I might be saying it wrong, and the word wasn't how, it was ha. That meant hello. But because it was so many of us, Native, Black Americans,
So can we be-
they just came up with one word to suit all of these tribes that were here when they got here.
So to simplify it.
Can you back up real quick? Can we be clear? You're saying that we're indigenous to the Americas.
Oh,
correct?
most definitely.
We're
Most
indigenous to
definitely.
the Americas. This
Most
was once
definitely.
called Turtle Island. You can look it up.
Yes.
So I want to push back on my Native American brothers and sisters as well, because I know you've been told, or it's been
Written?
that you guys are indigenous to America, but we were here too.
Not here too. Take
are
out the
them.
two.
We are them
were
too.
here, period.
But
Yes.
so
Way
we
before
were here
Columbus came here.
way before 1492.
Yes.
It was called Turtle Island.
Yes.
And we had this homogenous mix because my family originated in New Orleans, and my great-grandmother, if you saw a picture of her, she's straight Native American. Cherokee.
Mine?
So
Cherokee
you
too.
have you have a lot of the tribes that were in that area. You got the Washita Indians. You got a lot of that took place, and I think we need to. This is going to come back to the reparations conversation, but they've already got their casinos and all their little type of reparations.
Yes.
And you have to go under a certain banner in order to
It's very hard.
get that. But
It's very hard
should have been included.
to become affiliated with your tribe that you would be titled to, because of what we have now, Ancestry.com. A lot of
I
people.
can't mess with that.
Yeah,
can't mess with
I don't suggest
That's
it
on some
for
other
black people to if you want to, research your history.
If you know nothing.
If you know nothing.
Nothing.
A lot of you are not going to find any history on Ancestry.com, and a lot of it, the reason is because you are indigenous to this country already
The
here.
Americas,
You are already a Native American, and you just are untitled.
Exactly.
And if you are from Mississippi, you need to be looking toward the Choctaw Band of Indians that I follow on Facebook and Instagram.
Yep.
You need to follow those tribes that are where your people are from.
Yep.
It's not a coincidence that you have a high cheekbone,
Correct.
a flat nose,
Yep.
or your texture of your hair is different, or you look back in your ancestor pictures and you're like, they don't look African or of African
Indians.
descent. Most of you are not of African descent. You
Exactly.
you mix with Africans. You were already here, and that is a story. A lot of my family on my maternal side, a lot of them are indigenous and were already here.
And because also, even as you were stating, the real broad forehead,
Yes.
and the chinky eyes,
The chinky
is
eyes,
because
yep.
we were already here, period, and they intermix with us.
Correct.
Because we were already here.
The black phenotype is
yes.
So
undeniable.
you remember back in the days where people used to say, my grandmother has Indian in her.
That's fact.
That was
So,
just a
and then,
given.
and
That
then,
was a given.
yeah, and people would be like, oh, whatever.
Yes.
You just want to say that to talk about, because this came down to the hair, the texture of the hair. And, but you're right, a lot of African Americans have that history where there is a mixture. And there was tribes in Florida, the
Yes.
Seminoles, where African slaves would run to and would seek refuge.
And they
And-
intermarried.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in the 1300s, before the African American slaves came even to America, they went through the Asian continent and then
Exactly,
landed in
which is why you
America.
got all
So
the
that
different
explains
phenotypes,
the chinky eyes.
Yes.
And that explains the
Olive-
complexion.
olive tone
Yes, that
skin.
explains a whole
Asiatic.
lot. It explains a whole lot. So our history is so rich.
Right.
It's beyond anything that we ever even imagined. But the more we research it, the more we dive into it, the more we see just how our greatness still prevails.
You
in
can't-
spite of,
you
in
can't-
spite of trying to minimize, you know, who we are,
Right.
you know, in this country.
But
in-
you can't
in-
go
in
anywhere
America.
in the world and not see the black phenotype.
Nowhere
if
in
you
the
go
world.
to India, if you
Asia.
go to China, now
Yes.
they may hide. Oh, right.
Buddha.
They may hide us in the hills, or they don't have us on the commercials. But if you go into some of the lands in China, brothers got afros.
That
They
is
got
so true.
the Asian phenotype. They got the phenotype. They come right out there with
But
afros.
you know what? Like we mentioned last
And the
week,
Buddha, like,
how
yes. Not here.
how Shakespeare sold out.
Yes.
He was selling out back then. I'm not
You
saying
mean
Shakespeare. I'm sorry, Beethoven.
Beethoven.
Beethoven. He
Okay.
sold out back then. He sold out back then because they were like, in order for us to really, you know, depict you in this manner, you need to put on some powdered makeup. And he went for that. And
Or
you
use
mentioned
a
the
body
photo
double.
double and all of that.
Yeah.
And it's because of that. But he was of, he's black.
Why do you guys think, you have to think about why was it necessary to whitewash the entire world? What was the purpose? Go.
Domination. Superiority.
Correct.
Before I came here, I just pulled up to the gas station. There was 3 Caucasian Americans, white Americans. Because why they're not called white Americans? Why we got to be black Americans, this person, and they're just
Correct.
Caucasians, white American. And they were just like, they was like rocking it. The boom was so loud in the car. You know, they just messed us up because all of this is a melting pot, and you should be able to utilize and adopt what you like into your culture and vice versa. And they're just looking at me because I didn't have this hat on, but I had these little pixie tails and this jewelry on, and they're just looking. I said, you know what? White American really effed us up across the board for people of color.
So you feel that
For
we've been
domination.
brainwashed?
For domination.
Feel like-
Superiority.
Yeah.
That was their whole plan.
Right.
And it's
order
still
for-
their plan, and it still prevails to this very day.
In
Well,
order,
I think we're coming and changing the narrative because more and more technology is evening up the playing field.
but it's, I have
How
to
do you
disagree.
feel that?
I have to
How do you
disagree.
think that?
I have to disagree with that.
Because
let her tell us,
Because
Tamar, how do you feel that?
I feel that information. Yes, you're correct. I'm not saying that
No,
you're
we're
not.
good.
But I'm saying it's that we are taking more and more of our power back. We're acknowledging our Africanness. We're acknowledging our beauty, our black beauty. We are getting access to information because of technology. Even though it can be manipulated, but we have access to. We can go and Google and research quicker
It
now.
has been.
Well, it has been.
It has
And
been since the beginning of time, because the 14th Amendment states exactly what's supposed to happen here in America. In the United States of America.
Yeah.
And that has been
What a
just so,
citizen is,
just
yeah.
totally ignored as to who we are as United States of Americans, as Americans, Black Americans. Whoever is born here in the United States is supposed to receive certain type of privileges.
Yes.
I don't know if you all have seen the documentary with Will
Amend.
Smith. Will
Amend.
Smith,
Amend. I saw it.
14th Amendment,
I saw it.
14th
I saw it this
Amendment,
weekend.
and they just dive right into it.
Right.
And it's so deep,
But
and it's so real, but
You have to, having access to information, this is my issue with that. If you control the information I have access
Exactly.
to, then once again,
Then it's
I have
limited.
an issue.
Great
Because
point.
You could put
That's
it,
a great point.
Google is owned by whom? Facebook,
Right.
all these places, all of them are in cahoots to limit their information.
Yes.
So you have to pick a book up. I'm sorry, you cannot be intellectually lazy.
Yes.
Yes.
Googling something, but
That's
they
true.
can tell you.
I'm a reader.
yes.
Me too.
I'm a
you
reader.
And
Fact checking.
it's just certain books and certain information we're not going to have access to.
Yes.
But I think the biggest issue here is status. If your status is not corrected in the system,
Right.
that is where we're going to continue to be disempowered. Because I'm sorry, but what is black? Black is the color of your shirt. Black is
Right.
the color of your boots. Why are we calling ourselves black?
Black, period.
Right.
Black and white is a social construct through which white supremacy is the vehicle.
Right.
So I need to park that bus right there.
Yes.
And I'm gonna leave it there, and I'm gonna take all the gas out of it and the wheels.
I agree.
Keep you on flats. So if we move past that, then we get back to the indigenous, just like we get back to the indigenous people of the continent.
Call it
Okay.
what it is.
And then at that point,
Yeah. So hold that thought. We'll get right back to it. Thank you so much. We'll be right back. We're going to take a quick break.
Up top.
Welcome to Burke's Jewelry. How may I help you?
We're looking for engagement rings.
We offer a wide selection. However, I believe we have just what you're looking for. Burke's Jeweler is your family's jeweler at 491 Flat Shoals Avenue Southeast, Atlanta, Georgia 30316 in East Atlanta
How
Village.
can you find a reliable source of CBD products? Introducing Holistic Wellness Boutique, a revolutionary collection of CBD tinctures, CBD topicals, CBD edibles, CBD pet products, and other relevant CBD products that help you incorporate CBD into your everyday lifestyle. The best part? Through our special Radiant Transformations program, Dr. Alea Daniel, PharmD, a well-regarded wellness coach, licensed pharmacist, and the mind behind the idea of Holistic Wellness Boutique, will also introduce you to a healthier lifestyle through proper education, nutrition, and a thorough medication evaluation to make the most of our exemplary CBD products. If you are struggling with a chronic condition, we can help you discover how to live a more holistic lifestyle through wellness coaching and the proper selection of hemp-derived CBD products. Visit HolisticWellnessBoutique.com to schedule a consultation or order an audacious combination of hemp-derived CBD products that will rejuvenate your mind, body, and spirit.
Good afternoon. Welcome back to the Talk Show Divas. So before we get back to our lively discussion here, we want to give out a shout out to our sponsors. Vizard, a taste so delectably finessed. Vizard Spirits on IG. Phone number 678-896-5105. That's Vizard. Next is DOS Skincare at www.dosskincare.com. And today is Feed the Hood, DJ 3rd Annual. So with that, thank you so much for our sponsors. And also, I wanted to give out a list of our shows that we have. On Tuesday at 12:30, your real estate tea. Wednesdays at 8 p.m., the flavor, followed by the playlist at 9:30. Friday is 7 p.m., the Life Lounge. Saturday, 3:30 p.m., the Conversation. Also, started by the Bedroom Chronicles at 5 p.m. Sunday, 4:30, the Talk Show Divas. And tonight, 6:30, the Talk Show Kings will be back on.
Yay!
Yes. So, we also want to, yeah, we do. And then we want to say thank you to our technical support, Jason Pulley, executive producer Felix Washington, and social media director Shantae Barksdale. So, also, guys, we are coming to you live every Sunday, and we need some financial backing. So if you all could donate to our Cash App, which is $TV1061. Once again, that's Cash App, $TV1061. So, thank you. Let's get back to our conversation. Miss Renee and Tamar, you were saying earlier when we left off that you were talking about.
I was basically talking about the construct of black and white. Whiteness. What does it actually mean? Because before that even came about, you were identified based on the region. So if you're from Italy, you were Italian. If you were Irish, you were Irish. If you were from Ireland, you were Irish. But the whole construct, and if you go over to Europe, you had the Black Madonna, you had the Black Church, even royalty. We had queens that were Moors.
Yes.
So when they decided to subjugate and enslave the African was when they had to construct this whole thing about white and black so they could have this level of white supremacy. And the church and the Vatican also ordained this captivity and this subjugation of the African. So that is why this whole nonsense was created.
So to justify their enslavement of Africans, they came up with...
They had to say that you were lesser than. Okay. So I can't tell everybody that you gave physics and mathematics and language and music and art to the world, because that doesn't, it doesn't jive right. So I have to say that you basically had no contributions to history. They had to dumb down or almost wipe away the Moors that came to Europe in 1719 and basically brought Europe out of the Dark Ages. We talked about that last week. So they had to, I call it the whitewashing of history. So they kind of had to do that in order to create this entity called America.
And slavery. The institution of slavery.
Supremacy.
So to support that.
Which built the economic foundation of America.
America and Europe.
Yes.
So not only slavery, it was instituted here in North America, was in South America as well, Brazil.
And it was
I mean, it was throughout the Caribbean, all over. But what the point I was trying to make is that they needed to wipe away our history and put in and justify enslavement, that we were less than, we were cattle, we were animals.
That's right.
Okay, so when they took account in their accounting books, they didn't put your name. They stripped you of your culture, of your actual religion, and they said
your actual, I got it, your actual spirituality.
Spirituality. Okay. Yes, we'll go with that. And put you down as an animal. So my point is, they dehumanized you.
And they dehumanized you, and I wanted to go back to how the Vatican gave it the nod, because some of the first ships were called the Jesus, first ship Jesus, that they boarded us in.
Yeah, and not only were they called the name Jesus or biblical or some type of reference, when we were captured in all parts of Africa, the Caribbean, and throughout the world, they would bring us to the port, and a priest, a white priest, would be there. And as they are shackling African philanthropists, African engineers,
Alchemists.
alchemists,
All of that.
kings, queens.
Greatness.
As they're shackling all of our great people, they're telling them, Hail Mary, full
That's
of
right.
grace,
Full
the
of
Lord
grace.
is with
Yes,
you.
yes.
So we can talk another time about
That's a different
our
That's a
spirituality.
different story. Right.
But just to let you know, when you do the research and you go to port cities like Charleston,
Yes.
anywhere along Savannah,
Yes.
which has rich African roots and still people that are indigenous that are there.
That's another one. That's a good one.
When you go to those places and talk to the descendants of indigenous people or African slaves that were brought here, they will tell you how it really happened.
They have some serious
And
stories.
so the whitewashing of the world, it's not just Africa, the whitewashing of the world was just to dominate us and to dehumanize us and to proliferate, white supremacy.
Exactly.
So
Thank you.
that's what it is. So when you get
Just
back to
call
your
it what
roots,
it is.
it's
Yes.
not. You can't say you get back to your roots. You're gonna have to pull the Native American. You're gonna have to pull the Choctaw. You're gonna have to pull the Chickasaw. You're gonna have to pull all the tribes. You're gonna have to go across the world to Asia. You're gonna have to pull the Buddhists.
The Buddha is not here.
You're gonna have to pull the African or black Chinese person or what? You're gonna have to pull all of it.
Let's just go back to the holy book.
Yes.
Let's just go back to the Bible because it tells a lot.
Well,
I'm gonna go back further than the Bible because that's the King James version.
Well,
I'm going.
Okay.
Okay, look at
Let's
the
just continue.
description. Let's just say this. The description of Jesus was his skin was of the color of dirt, right?
Copper,
So
brass, finally
brass.
from brass, and his hair
And
was
every
like
one of
one's
his
lamb.
his followers, the apostles, as they describe themselves, they describe themselves, I am black, I have been baked by the sun.
Baked by
Now,
the
if you've been
sun.
baked by the sun, you already know what color that looks like.
Yes.
So they give a descriptive and a narrative of who they are.
Exactly.
So everything has just been falsified. That's what I'm saying, that white America has done us the ultimate injustice. But that's a different story because we're here, as you know, Miss Hostess, to celebrate, who we are.
Yes,
because we know what they've done.
Yes.
We are well aware of what they've done.
Yes.
But we want to call the names out of the people who came up like the phoenix and they just rose out of the ashes of what they
Yes.
tried to burn our history, and we still prevail.
Yes.
Because that's who we are as a race of people.
Exactly.
You know, and one person that I wanted to talk about was before we even got to Dominique Dawes and Gabby Douglas and Simone Biles. You know, we had a young lady, and her name was Diane Durham. We probably are not even, don't even know that woman passed away 3 weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
But she was the first black American gymnast.
Wow.
Happened to be from my hometown, GI. And she passed away just, less than 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
But she was the first black American gymnast that held a national title in every area.
I didn't know that.
But they don't talk about her.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
But
that's
why
my
we have
person.
our
I want to
voice.
highlight. I'm sorry?
No, but that's why we have our voices, and just like you said, speaking truth to power, we got to say their names. So I am absolutely
Diane Durham.
Diane
and
Durham.
she passed away in Chicago, but she was born in Gary, Indiana.
Yeah, I saw it.
Did
my daughter is a gymnast, so I showed it to my daughter.
Okay,
Wow,
because you're connected with that. But for the masses, I didn't see a public,
I didn't either.
announcement come across the television screen mentioning that she passed away. When I went to Google, the first gymnast, unbeknownst, I knew it was her, but I didn't know she had passed away. I did not know she passed
They only
away.
talk about national treasures.
And she is a national treasure. She is for us a national treasure.
Yes.
And she passed away February the 4th. So I want to say congratulations to her, and that we will continue to lift your name up and pay homage to you, because before her, those other ladies stands on the shoulders. And she was the first gymnast to beat out Nadia Comaneci.
Wow.
She was the first gymnast to beat her out in a competition.
That's
So
amazing.
we salute
Thank
you.
you. That
We
is,
salute you.
yes.
Yes.
But that's why we have to, remain steadfast and say We want our history 365.
Yes.
And the only way
Yes.
that we can tell our history, and you don't want anybody to write your own story, you better learn where you came from, learn as much as possible, and don't believe anything that you hear the first time.
That is so
Because
true.
they would tell us we weren't indigenous. They would tell us that we weren't Native Americans.
Yes.
And it's all about financial gain. The Native American here in the United States is a very protected group.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, ladies. We're going to go to our break, and we'll be back for our final segment. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Lieutenant Elmer Horn with Douglas County Sheriff's Office, and we're here in one of our communities, and Sheriff Pounds is here with us. And Sheriff Pounds is very involved in his communities, and he come out. We brought out our grill and our smoker so we can come out and help cook for this community. And Sheriff Pounds himself has come out and helped cook with us, and he's here to cook and help these folks today.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is one of the programs that I call taking my community back. If you don't get out there and get involved in your community, you ain't gonna be able to get it back. And the sad part about it, we losing our young men at such a pace that it's unreal. We got to come up with something that will help us with these children. Got to. So this is what I'm doing. I love it. I'm out here in the sun. It's hot, but like I said earlier, we're gonna do these until we get that gap between law enforcement and the community bridge. We're gonna bridge that gap because we're gonna get out of here, we're gonna shake hands, we're gonna find out if they got any kind of problem we can assist them with, and invite them to the sheriff's office and come to the roll call. Just come see what's going on at the office. Thank y'all so much for being here.
Thank you, Sheriff Pounds. And like
Well, thank you all for coming back. We are going to wrap up our final segment, and I'm going to let the diva Renee wrap up in her final thoughts in regards to whom she's focusing on this Sunday afternoon.
Well, basically, I had just a list of, I just want to say their names.
Okay.
You know, because it's something about saying someone's name.
Yes. Go ahead.
I don't want to even go to that type of nature, but when you're doing something really, really good, and they say my name,
Yes.
you want to hear that person say my name. So I just want to say really quickly that Alice Coachman, she was the first black woman to own a gold medal in the high jump. Okay, and that was in 1948 in London.
Wow.
Okay, Marshall Major Taylor, he was the first American cyclist who won a race, and that was in the early 1800s. They don't even give a specific date, but he was born in Indianapolis, Indiana. Nicole Lyons is the first African-American female driver, to race in the National Hot Rod Association. Bill Lester is the first black driver in the Grand Am race, and that was in the early mid-60s. Wendell Scott was the first black driver in the NASCAR. We're just hearing about this gentleman. His name is Bubba.
Yes.
But before Bubba,
Yes.
before Bubba, okay, a lot of people's shoulders he has stood upon. And this Wendell Scott was the first driver in NASCAR and the first to win a race in its highest level. And I did mention before, I think last week, and that was about Charles Sifford was the first American to join the PGA Tour, which he was a golfer, which we always think that it was who? Tyler.
Right.
And I'm saying that because in our comments we had some young ladies, they thought that Serena Williams was the first to win in a tennis match.
Right.
They forgot all about Athena. Yes, I'm serious because because we're each one teach one. There's a lot of things I'm learning that I didn't know either.
Right.
But they thought that Serena was the first, but it was Althea Gibson.
Yes,
So that's what
right.
we're here to do. We're here to say their names
Say
and
their
to shine the
name.
light and to just spread love on them.
Okay.
And while we're doing first, I just want to say that the first president of the United States was John Hanson. He was a black man.
Yes.
He was a Moor.
Yes.
So a lot of people, I'm going to say that again, it was not Barack Obama.
That's true.
It was John Hanson. And it was 1781. He was the first president of the United States, and Congress assembled under the Articles of the Confederation. You can find him on the dollar bill.
That's
if you
true.
flip over that dollar bill,
That's true.
and you go like 1, 2, 3, 4, he's the fifth little, if you have a dollar bill, but he should be the fifth person that's sitting in this little seat on the dollar bill. But he's
That is
black.
true. He is
So
black.
he
You're right.
was, and he was a Moor. So there we have it. And
Thank you.
In fact, our entire laws came from Moors.
Yes.
And their treaties. So.
Well,
okay.
thank you, ladies. So I'm going to piggyback in the spirit of saying their names. I have a list of a few black scientists and medical doctors that I wanted to list out and mention. Charles Drew,
Oh, yes.
physician, surgeon, medical researcher. He was the inventor of the blood bank.
Yes, he was.
Thank you.
Dr. Daniel Hale Williams,
Yes.
physician who performed the first prototype open heart surgery.
Yep, I remember
I
that.
knew him too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Emmett Chappell, scientist, researcher, had 14 U.S. patents, discovered that there's particular combinations with chemicals that causes all living organisms to emit light.
What's his name?
Emmett Chappell.
Chappelle.
And number 4, Ernest Everett Just, biochemist, author, and also known from working on the egg fertilization and structure of the cell. Marie Maynard Daly, first African-American woman to earn a PhD in chemistry.
All right, Marie.
Patricia Bath, ophthalmologist, inventor, known for being the first African-American woman doctor to receive a patent for a medical invention.
Say her name again.
Patricia Bath.
All right, Patricia.
And I want to go back to just a shout out to the Egyptians because they did the first brain surgery.
Yes.
So we can even just
Fantastic.
skip right on past America and get back to where the real healing was going on.
Okay.
And what they
All
were
right now.
doing.
Go
and
ahead,
and
Tamara.
as well as blood transfusions and everything. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Because this
Oh, because we can go so far.
This is the only thing that I don't.
we
This is
can
the
go
only
so
thing I
far.
don't like
Yes.
is only when we're only recognized when we're given their certificates, their plaques, their little trinkets that shows,
Their
hey,
everything.
I'm successful, I made it. No, and those are things that we shouldn't covet.
That is
Because I don't need a Grammy to tell me I'm a damn good singer.
Right.
I don't need a ESPY award to tell me I'm one of the best athletes in the world. I mean, it's these little things that they have us that they have us wanting to attain. And
Because it's structured.
It's
Well,
just yeah.
and it's by design, not by
it's just
accident.
full of- it's
I
right.
had a conversation earlier today with one of my childhood friends, and I was mentioning to her, why is it that we always look towards others to recognize
For
us?
approval, yeah.
Right?
approval.
We're always seeking approval from
Yep.
other people.
Exactly.
Why don't we celebrate ourselves? Why don't we? And that's what Black history is all about, which is American history. We need to celebrate ourselves. And
Every day.
And every single day.
Because we're
every moment.
365 days out of the year. We're what?
We're
Black.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
Yes.
I said, I look at the fact that some people complaining about what's going on in politics, and I'm going to transition to HR 40. What is it, and what does it mean?
What does the
Okay.
HR mean?
So let me explain.
What does the HR mean?
So the HR is also known as the Commission to Study and Develop
This is such a joke.
Reparation Proposal for African American Act.
It's such a joke.
Okay? So it was last week, I think Wednesday,
Yep.
the House Judiciary and Subcommittee on the Constitution, Civil Rights, and Civil Liberties hosted a hearing on HR 40, a bill that would not only study the history of slavery and racial discrimination, but also make recommendations for reparations to Congress. So,
What does the HR stands for?
actually, I was looking that up. That's what it's not broken down.
It's not?
No,
Okay.
I think
'Cause I always thought HR stands for what?
Human
relations.
Human resources.
or
That's
resources,
just
right?
That's just there, but
But gotcha.
Yeah.
that is optics. It is a circus. It is to entertain you, to give you the impression that someone's trying to do something. We do not need a study on slavery. There are thousands that they can reference. Let's quit playing with it. We do not. If you're trying to get a dollar amount, then let's get to it. Dr. Sandy Darity. This brother has spent years outlining everything that BS committees say they're about. All you have to do is get his data and cut the checks. We tired of waiting.
Right.
We tired of waiting because it's basically
What does
saying,
your check look like?
It's basically, well, I hope it has 40 acres in it.
Okay, and what about that mule? Because we don't need no mules now.
I don't
'cause
need
they
no
got
mule.
power machines. I want the Mustang, baby. Give me
I
that
prefer
power.
Tesla.
That's
right. But they're shucking, as my grandma, they're shucking and jiving.
Shucking and
They're
jiving.
shucking and jiving. It's the show.
Well, and it's been a discussion for how many years now?
We've been talking about reparations forever.
Since the minute, Reconstruction?
We've been talking about
But
this
they've done it for so many different
have the formula
classifications of people. They've done it for.
Holocaust,
But why not us?
Native Americans,
Yes, Native
Japanese
Americans.
people
Yes, but why
that
not
were in
us?
internment
The
camps.
people from Rosewood, but they waited for half of them to be dead.
Half of them were dead.
Right. Half of them were dead, so they didn't have to
So
pay
you
out
can't
that
even
much.
give me that
So what
back.
about us?
So I don't. If we came up with a stimulus bill that was over $1 trillion in a few short months for the pandemic,
Okay.
and we hadn't even seen the damage or the fallout from that,
Right.
you absolutely can get a number. And I need you to include Europe and Lords of London and all these other
Well, do
countries.
you feel that you're entitled? That's the thing about
Yes.
that HR 40.
Girl,
Now, you have to look about
what?
that HR 40 because when they passed that, the 40 acres and the mules, most of us weren't even born.
Right.
That's number one. So who does that go to? Does it goes to
Your
our
children
grandfather?
are entitled to your inheritance. So if I go back to my great, great, great,
So
great,
if
great,
you had
great
100
grand,
kids, it goes to all of them?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay, then fantastic.
Yeah.
Because I don't know.
But what does it
I don't know
look
that
like?
part.
What would that
does
look
it
like to you?
Right, pay off
You
the
see,
student
would it
loans.
be student?
What would it materialize?
Yes.
I need the
How would it
money.
materialize?
Make it
What does it
work.
materialize? Well, you don't need the mule because they
Give
have
me the
plow
money.
machines.
Or you can
So
give
what
me
do you
gold.
want instead of the mule?
You can give me Bitcoin or gold or
Okay,
land.
instead of the mule? Okay.
Because what we're saying is it's semantics right now. The first thing that
Yes.
Barack Obama said was, well, reparations is going to be in the form of an education. No, because this education is a colonized white supremacist education.
Yes,
I have an African
exactly.
mind. I
Everybody
need a different
don't want
curriculum. So
that.
you can keep your education.
Right.
Then Kamala Harris said, well, we're going to give you housing. No, all of these little, y'all
Give us
running
what you
around,
all said that
give-
you were going to do.
Give us the same thing you gave the Holocaust survivors.
Everybody,
You gave
that's
them
true.
to give us economic justice. I need you to cut the check.
Go back to
Yes.
what? The 14th Amendment.
Right.
The 14th Amendment says it all.
But
It
this
really
is-
does.
But so it's like they're playing a game, and it's just a joke.
What does it look like to you? Why don't you, Miss Hostess, ask us what it looks like to us?
Well, you
Well,
already did.
I did. I asked that question.
No, Miss Hostess.
I asked that question.
What does it look like? What does it look like to you?
So for me, I would say I would need at least 5 to 10 acres of land, and I
don't want
need
40?
some.
You can have 4.
I can have 4 acres.
She wants us to waste money, baby. She wants to invest in money.
I'm not really a farmer. I mean, in my back of my mind, I would think that ideally
Girl, put some property
having
down.
Renee.
right. So I mean, but really, I would want dollars. I'm with you.
There you go.
I would want
You
money.
want the money.
But
Get the check.
yes, land you cannot recoup.
Exactly.
Land you do need. So yes, all jokes aside, 40 acres would be ideal.
Smack dead in Manhattan. That's why I want my
Listen,
40 acres.
yes.
That's
Well, I would like it somewhere in the South because I want to
Me
be able
too.
to grow,
Yes.
even though I'm not a farmer, but I would still like to be able to grow my own
love
food and to have access to great, that type of, you have to be in the South to have access to land where you can constantly, go out in the backyard and pick apples, pick oranges,
Yes.
and, have my own chickens and
But you.
horses.
For me, I am going back to farming, but I don't know if I am saying that I want mine in additional land, because I just don't see how they're going to break that all the way up for us. I'm
At
back
this
to
point, they can't.
at this
Yeah,
point.
at this point, just
So
cut.
I want them to just pay us and stop playing the games. Stop playing the games. This is really just coming off the election. It's promises that are made that they're going to try to pacify us with a semi honoring of those promises.
Exactly.
This is a long-standing promise. It goes way, way back. It comes all the way back forward. They've been promising black farmers reparations since the 90s.
Correct.
We never received reparations then,
Yeah.
and we keep growing crops for you guys to eat. So it's not going to happen. But what we need to see happen is the dollar. Pay us in Bitcoin. Pay us in coin. Pay us in
gold.
Teslas, pay us in gold, pay us in
Diamonds.
whatever denomination you want to pay us in.
Okay. And Renee, wrapping up mine's real quickly. Pay us and stop arresting and killing our black children and our youth. That's how you can pay me back.
Okay.
You know, because I have other people, little people that I'm leaving behind.
Yes.
Give them and honor the
Give them
14th
justice.
Amendment,
Yes.
which you says that everybody is equal and they're just, and by law they have the equality. Just honor what you said that you were going to do.
Yes.
With that.
Yes.
Just honor the democracy.
Yes.
With all of those amendments that you wrote, honor those.
They
And
were
I-
not
and I
written
will
less
and
than
I will
mine,
receive
though.
that
Yeah.
as my reparations. Because when I leave here, I got more, less, years in front of me than behind
behind,
me.
yeah.
Honor my people that's coming from behind me. Honor what you said you were going to do, America. Do
Okay.
that. Do that for me.
Well, thank you all for a great show.
Thank you,
And we will be back next Sunday. Have a good evening. Take care.
Bye, guys. Enjoy your work week, everybody.
Bye-bye.
TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond.